So here's a little update on our project using the Lowrance marine grade GPS receiver. So these receivers are pretty interesting, and they use a standard called NMEA 2000, which is a kind of a universal standard for marine grade applications. So it describes a connector standard as well as a CAN protocol and power standard. So the cabling uses what they call these micro C connectors, but they're really just M12 5-pin connectors. And it's kind of neat because they kind of follow this metaphor of like pipes and hoses, but just using electrical connections. So this GPS receiver is plugged into this splitter, which just looks like a pipe T, right? And then you can kind of see on one end there's the 5-pin connector on there. So that we have the male connector, and then there's a female connector here. So the GPS receiver is plugged into here, and then we have a field connector that's an M12 5-pin that's plugged into the other port. And then we have a CAN bus terminator that's also plugged in on the end here. So this field connector is plugged into connected to one of our pigtails, and that goes over here to the ESP32 CAN bus development board. And the reason why we have that is that these GPS receivers, the NMEA 2000 standard, specifies a CAN bus baud rate of 250 kilobits per second. So the development board, we have a small program that runs on here that takes any CAN bus message coming in at 250 kilobits per second from the GPS receiver, and then just forwards that message on to the second CAN bus at 1 megabit, because the rest of our network is going to run at 1 megabit because of the ECU that we're using and so on. So that data is forwarded on to PodiumConnect Micro, and you can see there's CAN bus activity here, and then there's also CAN bus activity on the development board, just showing that the data is being forwarded. So it's a little bit of a diagnostic. So that's working, and then once we have the data flowing, then what we do is we load a preset for the 0.1, what this is called actually, the 0.1 GPS receiver. So we load that preset in the firmware, and then voila, we have the latitude, longitude, and then a fluctuating speed channel. So this is typical with GPS receivers.